Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great milestone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Ahmad Bayan coming to you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachah Kodash. Alright, and these AI robots that we're getting into here, we're seeing how advanced they are and whatnot. And these things, some people might say, look how cool it is. They might want one and all these things, but understand that Esau, the enemy, right, which is the enemy, alright, this is his products, right, this is his devices. This is his sword, right? Esau is blessed by the sword, so therefore you're seeing he's using and creating and bringing forth his swords, to show you what he's capable of doing and what he's coming with, for that great time. Alright, that great time which is called Jacob's trouble. Alright, that many people are going to be part of. Majority of the whole world is going to be part of Jacob's trouble. Alright? Jacob goes back to Israel. Israel goes back to the so-called Negroes, the Hispanics and Native American Indians today. Right? So who you think Esau is coming for in the time of Jacob's trouble? Right? He's coming against Jake. You Jakes out there. Alright? You all are that gullible and every little thing all it is believe and whatnot, and everything all it is trust this man for, right? So, I'm gonna just get into some videos real quick, and you're gonna get one or two scriptures, and Lord willing, it will be edifying to the elect of Israel. Salakia, just pay attention to how this thing is moving. And in a time of Jacob's trouble, you out in the wilderness, running from Esau, from his drones, from his iRobots, from his AI, the cameras and all these things. These things are going to be all around. Things are going to get so spooky out there that, you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't have nowhere that you could run and hide. Right? It's going to just be chaos. Okay? And what's another thing they like to do also? They like to place ammunition upon the back of these robot dogs. Right? He put out a chime on that. So what you think he coming with? Right? So yes, it might seem and look right now innocent, but it's created for basically a destruction. It's created to seek and destroy. Right? That is all it is created for. And it's created for Jake overall. Right? This is the 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Right? We are not ignorant of this man's devices, his technology that he's bringing forth, to wow people with. But really and truly, his agenda is to seek and destroy, is to destroy Jake, right? Because why? He have a perpetual hatred against his brother Jacob, right? And it will have other Edomite people out there. You're gonna have other heathen people out there that is going to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble also, and going to get destroyed. by Esau's sword, right? Let me ask scripture real quick before I forget. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 17, right? And this is something that Ezra said, right? Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, right? The reason these powers are going to stand in fear, the powers talking about is these elites, top banking families and whatnot, all these other top 1%ers in these nations and whatnot. They're going to stand in fear because they're going to realize that everything gets out of control, right? It's not going to, things are not going to go to their plan, right? As the scriptures say, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, right? This is what the Lord did, disappointed the devices of the crafty. Watching the wrong one. That's not. Job 5. It's Job 5 and 12. 1 to 12. Right. Job 5 and 12, it says, excuse me. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Right? So he will disappoint them. This is what the Lord is going to do to Esau and his technology. Right? He's going to disappoint him. Right? So when the scriptures say the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? And there's a question, what shall you do? Right? Who you going to call on? Right? You're going to call upon Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Right? Some of them must be was going and say, go, Ghostbusters. Right? Ghostbusters can help you here. Right? Ghostbusters can help you here. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is the only one that could be able to help you and save you out of that mayhem that is coming very soon. Alright, upon the earth. Alright? The Lord name is that strong tower. Alright? The righteous run it into it and it's safe. Okay? And let's go back to the video. So that's showing you here, it doesn't matter where you run, what terrain you go into, where you run to go, at the end of the day, Esau technology is going to find you, and if it is you're not close to the Lord, if you're not worshiping Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and talking to you, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians today, if it is you're not serving Yahweh Yahushai, guess what? You're going to be out there in the wilderness with these things, right? Newly created beasts, You're going to be out there with people with cyborgs, people with chips in their brain, being controlled by Esau, You're going to be out there with zombies, alright? Some of them might tell all this survey, this song in too cartoonish show, too far-fetched. But guess what? You don't serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And then when it is you end up in that same position, that I'm saying right now, I'm speaking right now, then you will know that a prophet have been among you, right? And check the next video out.
Rough terrain or rushing rivers, even busting a move here. This rough terrain or rushing rivers, even busting a move here. This little robot on wheels seems to do it all. It's the newest model release from a leading high-tech Chinese company, Unitree Robotics, and it's making some people online a little uneasy.
Yeah, this isn't frightening at all. I'm a former infantry guy. If I saw that on the battlefield, I don't think I'm sticking around.
It's reminding folks of dystopian films and TV, like this Black Mirror episode. And saying,
and that's the whole thing about it, you know. That's the whole thing about it. The show Black Mirror, they show you the same thing, right? And this is what these soldiers do, right? When you show you these shows on television goes back to what? Tell-e-vision, right? They're basically telling you a vision, right? And when you go onto the television, what you just get programs, right? So basically they're showing you that, hey, these programs is going to program you, right? Program your mind to make you understand that this is what is about to come. And you have it in your subconscious there, conscience there, that you thinking that is a harmless thing that you're looking at. It's just a movie, it's just a show, but not understanding that this is what this devil looking to actually bring forth, right? So this is how they does operate. Esau is known as a boastful man, right? He like to boast, he like to brag, he like to show off, right? And how he does it through his media, all right?
Yeah, this isn't frightening at all. I'm a former infantry guy. If I saw that on the battlefield, I don't think I'm sticking around.
It's reminding folks of dystopian films and TV, like this Black Mirror episode. And saying this kind of expletive is the doom of us. The Chinese company behind the creation says it'll be used for things like cargo transport, scientific expeditions, and even search and rescues. It says the 50-pound robot can carry over double its weight, gathers real-time data to adapt to new environments, using an autonomous navigation system instead of being remotely controlled.
It's really kind of the dream robot for someone who likes to be outdoors. The function is about getting over any kind of terrain, no matter what. You know? And what AI provides in robotics is massive amounts of data for fast training. So you can train them on the unexpected and the unknown much more quickly than you could previously.
Unitrees is responsible for other humanoids you've seen on your feed too. From kung fu bots doing an impressive choreographed routine for Chinese New Year to throwing some punches in its UFC debut. But not all humanoid robots are hitting the target. Last month, a video going viral of a humanoid kicking a child in the stomach in China. And the robot fails have piled up, like the one dancing to Michael Jackson, or at this San Francisco restaurant back in March, or a robot tripping up right at the starting line of a test run before Beijing's half marathon. A few days later, though, the robots beat the humans. It seems like the tech is really speeding up, but experts say we're not quite there yet.
Whether you're looking at China or you're looking at the US, we're not at the place where anyone could really safely bring these into the home and expect them to do anything useful.
So as the industry keeps making leaps, there's a long way to go in the robot arms race, whether they're for the battlefields or not. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
We thank you.
China won't be heading here anytime soon, with a new ban just announced by the Trump administration on any new humanoid robots not made in the U.S. A shot across the bow at Beijing, as Chinese companies seek to run out in front of an emerging market. In a new statement, FCC Chair Brendan Carr says the robots pose unacceptable risks to the national security of the United States. Carr talking with NBC News this afternoon.
What's key about this is we're acting relatively early so that we don't discover 5 years or 10 years from now that we're too dependent on foreign produced technology at vulnerable points in our supply chain or our economy. And we haven't developed the industrialized base here domestically to produce it.
The ban also includes so-called quadrupeds, like this dog robot on wheels made by the company Unitree. The FCC specifically calling out a reported vulnerability in that company's robots, saying last year researchers identified a potentially pre-installed backdoor that gave access to the camera feed and allowed them to take control. Unitree saying at the
And that's what you're talking about there, where the people could be able to control it and whatnot. You know, all of the robots is the same way. You know, all of them, every single one of them, the American one, the Chinese one, you know, it doesn't matter where it come from. You know, once it have cameras on it, they could control it from back wherever they're sourcing it from, right? And you know, all of them is the same damn thing, right? Every single one is the same thing. So they speaking about each other, you know, banning this one, banning that one, you know. It's basically because they're going into that war with each other very soon, right? And they don't want to basically be able to spy on each other and all these things. You know, that's more or less what they're going into.
time, it completed a majority of the fixes. NBC News reached out to the company about the new ban and has not heard back.
They have had some impressive videos out there, but this is part of our systematic review of technology risks, economic risks, and supply chain risks.
Humanoid robots going viral, displaying a wide range of skills, like running a marathon in Beijing, playing a full soccer match, or even kickboxing. Not every robot works so well. This one in China dancing to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. And there's this moment when a robot kicked a child, also in China. While they may not all be ready for prime time, they are poised to make big bucks. Analysts at Morgan Stanley project the market could hit $15 billion just 4 years from now. And 2 decades after that, the firm says hundreds of millions could be roaming the streets. Chinese companies like Unitree and Agabot make up a huge portion of the market so far. China pushing back today on the FCC ban, with one top official accusing the U.S. of trying to suppress Chinese companies.
Such protectionist measures will not enhance America's competitiveness. Instead, it only harms the interests of American businesses and consumers.
China's ambitions.
And the whole thing about it, when it comes to both of them, you know, superpowers there, China basically outdone America a long time. You know, America isn't even close to them. You know, so those are all who thinking that bigging up America, Babylon, you know, they are nothing basically, right? Let me see if I can get an next script here real quick and close it off. Matter of fact, let's go to look at Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says from verse 6. It says, Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right? Jacob's trouble, you know, you realize it says Jacob's trouble, right? So it's going to be a lot of trouble for Jacob, right? But he shall be saved out of it. Who is he? The elect, right? The elect of Israel, starting with the 144,000. Alright, elect men, Abaratazar, we make it in that number. Alright, and then the rest of the 1/3 of Israel. Right? Because this is who the Lord coming to receive. He coming to receive the remnant of Israel. Right? And the 2/3 and the rebels and whatnot of Israel are going to get destroyed. Alright? They're going to get trodden over. Alright? Like the Myers in street. To understand what's taking place here today, understand the devil Esau Edom. Understand what he's planning to do. Alright? Never trust thy enemy. Shalom.